Decision Diaries.
Welcome to Decision Diaries. Today on Decision Diaries, Jami Shapiro's back. We are going to talk about Valentine's Day decisions, bad decisions, good decisions, and we're going to go back all the way to elementary school. So welcome back, Jami Shapiro, and please plug the website, decisiondiaries.com.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a hot minute, so this is fun. But what a fun topic! And I, of course, when you asked me, I'm like, well, of course, Valentine's Day. That's yes. Here I am.
Here you are, and just so everyone knows, we are actually talking about this on Valentine's Day. So
we are. Mm-hmm.
So today is the day. So, what is one of those most memorable elementary school or junior high Valentine's Day memories that you have or decisions?
I am sure, Lynn, that I don't have anything as funny as you. I mean, obviously, I remember back when we would make the boxes and everybody would bring stuff. And this was back in the day when you could actually get candy in school and, reading the Valentines and hoping that the boys that I liked would give me one. But this was back and you just had to give one to everybody and sign your name. And wish I could say I had some significant one in elementary school. I don't. But go, Lynn, because I am sure that there's a funny Janet Layfield story to be shared.
Well, I will tell you, my mom wasn't big into making handmade Valentines. Did your kids probably receive something? Some super mom made handmade Valentines. My mom wasn't into that, so therefore I did not do that for my children. But I will say that my mom was not good at checking the Valentines that I picked in elementary school. And so I believe I picked a card. I bought an actual card for a little boy that was very inappropriate. It was an adult Valentine's card. And the teacher confiscated it after he received it. And I forget what it said, but obviously it had some innuendos, and we're talking about, third grade. So I understand, and I've heard, from several people that have come on my podcast from my past. They're like, Lynn, you've always been a little boy crazy. So Valentine's Day was my day. If I had a crush on a boy, he was going to hear about it in an inappropriate way, or I was going to go through all of my store-bought Valentines for my mom, and I was going to find that one in the pile that was the special one. You know how you would get like a theme, but then there was like that one card that really kind of was like, I like you. I like you. Like, this isn't a Valentine's. This is a declaration of love, similar to our love letters, right? That was like, I like you. Know that the one I gave you is bigger than the one I gave everybody else.
So let me ask you a question. Did you ever, were you ever embarrassed? Did you ever put something out there that you were embarrassed about? Or did you ever receive a Valentine from somebody that you were like, oh my gosh, he likes me? Like, did you ever have any of those?
Okay, so I have an embarrassing one, and I have one I received that I like, and I can still quote today. Okay, so one that I received, and now I'm friends with them on Facebook, was a Valentine for somebody that I didn't know had a crush on me or thought this about me. And he wrote me a poem, and it was, roses are red, violets are blue, Walter is smart, and so are you. And I remember thinking, Walter was so smart. Walter Barnes is his name. He's on my Facebook. And he was so smart that it was like the best poem ever. It was like a super compliment, because I never really thought I was that smart. So love that. And then the embarrassing one was, and I remember his name, and I actually Googled his name because I thought, I wonder if he's the CEO or something. But this boy, Gordon Kilner,
Uh-huh.
I think he was slightly on the spectrum, I want to say, because he was, kind of out there, a little different than most kids in the fourth and fifth grade. And so he waited until the classroom had kind of settled down. Everybody had exchanged Valentines, but the classroom had settled down. He was not in my class. He was in another class. And so he busted through the door while the teacher was teaching, ran straight to my desk, kissed me, put this
Mm.
big, I don't know what you call it. Anyways, he put
The big
these
thing of
Thin Mints.
chocolate? Oh.
Yeah, this big box of Thin Mints on my desk after he kissed me and then ran away. It was very much like a Napoleon Dynamite type of experience. And then of course everybody was laughing at me, but then everybody wanted my Thin Mints. And I was always like super nice to him. Like I understood that he was a little special, like he wasn't in any of my classes, but always, was nice to him. And I really wondered where he is today because I thought that was very bold and I appreciated it. I didn't go out with him or anything, but he got a kiss.
Oh, nice.
And then I have one more. I have one more. Jamie, you ever have one of these where Valentine's Day comes and you don't know quite where your relationship is? I think a
Oh,
lot of people have this.
yeah.
And this was in college. This was
Mhm.
my college love,
Mhm.
writer. We've heard about him. And it was Valentine's Day, and I was just really in a really bad mood because I really didn't know where our relationship was going. It was at that point, and Valentine's Day really kind of brings it to the surface. And I went to the Hallmark store, and I don't know if you know this, but there are Valentines that are not quite nice. And I found
Mm.
one. I found one.
Oh.
And it just said, "Happy Valentine's Day. A card from me, be thankful." And it was just
Oh.
like, I don't know where we are. I don't know what to say. And I handed him that card, not expecting that he actually picked up on the fact that I was not happy, and he did a great Valentine's for me. He had teddy
Mm.
bears and flowers and chocolate. And like when I went to hand him the card, I was like, this was all I got for you. And like, ooh, I totally misread the situation.
Nice. Did you know I actually went to the store yesterday to buy flowers, and there are now black roses that you can buy. They're beautiful. They're not dead roses. They're black roses, and there are some that have like hot pink and black. I mean, what they're doing with roses is crazy. But I thought, and they now have Galentine bouquets, and so
Wow.
yeah. This Hallmark holiday has has stepped it up. So I have my you want to hear my most
Yeah.
memorable Valentine, speaking of like defining the relationship. So this is 1996 and I have met this amazingly hot man at the gym because that's back before the internet, and I am going to the gym and getting in shape and I meet this hottie. I mean, he was so cute. And I know that I met him around my birthday because I was traveling and we were talking on my birthday and we were seeing quite a bit of each other. I met him. Okay. So I met him at the beginning of January. And so Valentine's Day, we're 6 weeks in and I'm thinking we're dating. And Valentine's Day comes and he's made no plans with me. And I'm like, WTF. I
Right.
break up with him because I'm like, you know what? I am not going to be treated like shit on Valentine's Day. And it was like so empowering for me because at that point I had shed a little bit of the weight that I had gained from my first desk job. We used to call it buyer's butt. When I became a department store buyer and I was sitting, going from being active to sitting, and I had gotten my shape back. And I'm like, you know what? No. And to this day, I remember just feeling so empowered because, I mean, yes, he is totally hot, but he's going to treat me right, or he's not going to be in my life. So there.
Oh, and what did he do? He didn't do anything.
He
Did
did
he?
nothing. He did
Oh,
nothing. He got dumped by Jami. Yes.
did you actually dump him on Valentine's Day, or did you
I
dump him before?
No. I called him on Valentine's Day, and I'm like, this is clearly not working. I don't think we need to proceed. I don't remember, exactly. This was the days. I don't even think we texted back then. I think it was all phone calls. Um, but
Yeah.
I just ended it. I just remember feeling like, well, if I'm going to be sad on Valentine's Day, I'm going to be sad and proud on Valentine's Day.
You go. You
I
go.
know.
Well, I can tell you, I've had a couple of epic fails. And I think you remember one of my epic fails. So my husband and I decided that Valentine's Day was like very overwhelming for us. So we decided that one person would be responsible for Valentine's Day each year. And
Oh, I
so
like that.
we would alternate so that the pressure just wasn't on both of us to meet each other equally. Instead, one person could make Valentine's Day really fabulous. And then the next year, the other person sort of had to step up their game. And, hopefully there'd be a little bit of competition going on and it'd get better and better and better.
Mm,
And, I love a good
I
competition.
know. That's so
So,
ADHD, by the way. But anyway.
yeah, yeah. And so I don't know if he nailed the first one, and so I felt this particular Valentine's Day I needed to step up my game. But I kind of got my inspiration from like I thought of a progressive dinner, right?
Mm,
You know how you go from house to house to house? Well, I thought, okay, we're going to get the kids out of the house and
mm-hmm.
we're going to go room to room to room. How
This
about
is
that?
sounding familiar. Uh-huh.
Is it sounding familiar? Okay, so I want to say, what maybe this might have been pre-kids. What am I thinking? I think this might have been pre-kids. Okay, because somehow, yeah, they weren't kids' rooms at the time. Yeah, definitely pre-kids. Okay, so I do this, and now I have to think of a theme for each room. And I go to Spencer's Gifts because,
Mhm.
at this point, I don't think I went into sex stores, sex toy stores very much. So Spencer's was kind of like that middle, you could go to the mall and go there. So I go there and I find these glow paints and they glow underneath blue light. Like you can paint each other with like bright
Mhm.
orange and bright yellow. And I mean, I'm thinking if this pre-kids, I must have thought I was pretty hot with like some glow paint on. Anyways,
Uh-huh.
so I buy these paints and that's one room. Of course, I had to buy the blue light. I thought that I blacked out the room pretty good so that we could get like that whole day glow. What do you call it? Avatar look, right?
Mhm.
That's what I'm
Mhm.
thinking. That's what I'm thinking my body's going to look like one of those avatar people. And then, of course, I did go and pick up a game that I thought would sort of slow us down and make us, slow down a little
Mhm.
bit, get a
Mhm.
little hot before like just kind of jumping into the final thing. Okay. So, and then we also went to the melting pot. Like this was quite a date. And we went to the melting pot. So we went to the melting pot. I remember we came home and we smelled like oil, like fried grease, which really, kind of set the mood for the bedrooms we're walking into. And we go into the first one and we try these Dayglow paints, and they're not avatarish at all. I don't know if the room wasn't dark enough or the paints had too much like gel in them, but they
Mm.
really didn't give you that effect. So we abandoned that. And now we're off to the game and we start to play the game. And that is when I realized I selected the non heterosexual version.
I remember this. That is funny.
So we stopped playing the game, had a really good laugh. I still wanted to use some of the cards from the game. I mean, some of them, you could use. And he was like, no, this night has been a series of epic fails. that was
Aw.
that was
I
our yeah, that was our epic
I
fail, but
love.
fun.
Mhm. Mhm. So I would say, prior to my current relationship, the most romantic gesture that anybody ever did for me was my boyfriend in college. And it's so, I feel horrible. I don't know. I think I talked about this. Like if I could go back, I mean, he reminds me, my boyfriend now reminds me of my boyfriend in college. His name was Aaron, who just was really just a sweet, sweet guy. And I don't think I was ready for that. But he would I worked near where he lived, and he would walk and pick me up at the end of my shift every time that I worked. And I didn't appreciate those kind of things. But anyway, he made me this big foam poster in big Hershey's Kisses and said Jami and Aaron. And I got pissed because it wasn't flowers, because I expected flowers. I'm just like, if you could just go back. And anyway, so Aaron, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm so sorry. You were so sweet, and keep on being sweet like that.
Yeah, keep on being sweet. Well, I can tell you another Valentine mishap that I have is in 5th grade. We had math Valentines. Okay, this is crazy idea this teacher came up with, which I bet they don't allow her to do anymore. But you created a coded Valentine, and your Valentine had to do the math equations to decode
clever.
the Valentine. What a good concept from a teacher.
Yes.
I bet they don't even allow them to get that creative anymore, right? But
Yep,
so this boy created a Valentine for me, and when I decoded it, it said, "Will you go with me?" Okay. Now you think that's awesome. First of all, I'm really glad I got the equations right. I don't know what that would have said if I had messed it up with the letters and everything, but I did get the concept. It said, "Will you go with me?" But him and his friend, you know him, Reed, and this boy's name was Billy. Reed and Billy were known for their practical jokes. And lately they had been doing practical jokes on girls because they were both, pretty good looking in the 4th grade. A lot of girls liked them. These two boys would ask people to go with them and then promptly break up. So I thought that I was being punked. I thought that this was not a true "will you go with me," that this was a "will you go with me so I can break up with you," like in front of everybody on Valentine's. So after I decoded it, even though I thought he was cute, I walked up and kicked him in the shin a few times.
Oh.
Now, fast forward, I went roller skating that weekend, and we roller skated slowly to John Lennon's "Woman." And he came up to me and told me he really meant it and he really wanted to go with me. And so we went roller skating on the weekend after, his shins were okay. But I was like you. I was not going to be a fool.
Did you end up dating him?
I did end up dating him for a little while. Yeah, we're still friends to this day. He lives in Costa Rica, and he just had these like really gorgeous bright blue eyes.
Is he on the Plan B list, Lynn?
No, I don't think so, because he has a very young child with his second wife. So, yeah, I'm not doing young children at this point. I don't care how pretty your eyes are. You can't get me to do that. Now, what do you guys have anything planned today?
So we do actually. So I wasn't supposed to be home yesterday, and it's funny. I was getting flowers ready for him and putting them aside in the garage so they would stay cold. And I am going to bring them to him at work today, which I have never done. And he's gotten flowers before from me, but I've never brought them to work. But anyway, I am going to, so he's getting out of his car and he's got 24 roses for me. So they are sitting in the other room, and we were going to go for a nice dinner tonight, but you know how everybody jacks up the price and changes the menu. And he said, you're really not going to like the menu. What if we go out Friday instead? And what if I cook you dinner 2020 style? So I don't know if you remember this, but we started dating when everything was locked down. And so our dates were romantic dinners at home for, 6 months. And we would have these, he would make homemade pasta and he would make sushi, and he did like a 7-course seafood feast. So he is cooking for me tonight. I'm going to show up with flowers for him, but I also left him a bowl of cherries this morning. He loves cherries. And when I went out to buy the flowers, I left him a little bowl that said, you make our life a bowl of cherries or something like that. So, and then now they make these cards that have these coupon experiences. So I will give him, I know. I used to make my own coupons, but now you can go to Hallmark and you can get their pre-made coupons plus a couple wild cards. So I will be giving him that as the main gift. I have asked for no chocolate. I love chocolate, but we've discussed our weight if you go back into this episode. So just please nothing that adds any more to my midsection. Thank you very much. But I will also say, so our first Valentine's together, this will be our fourth. Our first Valentine's together, we were about 9 months in, and I knew I loved him. Like I knew I loved him, and we had not said it. And I am like, wanting him to go first because, I didn't want to like put myself out there and then get rejected.
Yeah.
So I wrote it in a card and gave it to him, and he did speak it to me out loud. So I'll always remember Valentine's Day for that.
Wow. Well, you guys are doing really good. I love the 4 years in. Okay. So flash to me, 25 plus.
Well, we're not 4 years in because we're for our fourth Valentine's Day.
Fourth Valentine's.
We hit Valentine's Day before we were together a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple things happened this past week. So first of all, we realized Valentine's Day was coming up really fast. Mm-hmm. And we just have a lot going on. So I texted him on Friday and I said, let's do Valentine's tonight. Spontaneous, random. And I said, be dressed by 6. I'll tell you where we're going. So we love on the Spectrum. I don't know if you've watched Love on the Spectrum.
I have.
But we binge watched it. Well, do you love the couple with the lions?
Oh my gosh. Abby and I can't think of his name, but you know who wears the pants in that relationship.
Oh, well, I tell you, I love them, and I love that last episode where they went to Africa with the lions. So I took from that inspiration, and I wish them a happy Valentine's Day. I took that from that inspiration, and the Jacksonville Zoo has this incredible Colors of the Wild Chinese lantern event at night. So what I did was we went home. I bought this card that said, can you get more horny? And it just has all these horny animals. Like just it pops up with all these horny animals because we're going to the zoo, right? And then I bought a just a little small thing of chocolates with a little tiger because I could not find a lion. I couldn't find anything with the Lion King, which was really upsetting because I really wanted lions. And then as he was getting dressed and he said, where are we going? Because he kind of dressed up. I played the song from The Lion King that those two sang to each other. Can you feel the love? Yeah, so I played the song "Can You Feel the Love" as I came out of the back room to let him know we're going to the zoo. Like this is a common theme. Open up the card, it's animals. You got a little tiger, it's animals. So we went to the zoo and it was beautiful. Jami, you come back in town. It runs through February. It was a beautiful event. The zoo, incredible artistry. I'll post some pictures. But so we did that. And then
post them on Decision Diaries on your website so that people.
I will. I have a photo gallery now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we went there, and then afterwards, we went to a restaurant kind of over on that side of town, on by Main Street, Jacksonville Zoo, and we actually ran into his best friend and his wife from high school, and we drank with them, which wasn't incredibly romantic, right? So that was Friday night. Now, Saturday night, you're going to love this. Saturday night was my book club. And my book club read a book about the Roaring Twenties.
Ah,
Ooh, right? So
uh-huh.
I went and got a Roaring Twenties outfit, which included fishnet thigh highs.
Hmm.
Now, I thought that the fishnet thigh highs, once again, epic fail on my side. I thought that the fishnet thigh highs had elastic that were going to stay up on my leg, but they were sliding down. So then I
Uh,
had to reach into my old repertoire of lingerie from my store from my 20s to find a garter belt. So I found a garter belt and a bustier, but my body is a 50-year-old body. So then I had to take the sheet extenders off my bed and extend my bustier. I was wearing
ah.
sheet extenders behind me. But if you looked at me from the front, it was hot. But you just needed to know that there were like sheet extenders behind me. And so I had a whole 1920s outfit. I even had a little fur thing. And I put on mama, when you're good to mama, mama's good to you, and did a little dance.
Love it.
And did a little dance.
Your creativity, it just, I mean, like I said, you've got more than me, and I think I'm amazingly creative. So Bruce is a lucky man. So let me ask you a question. Do you ever do things for your boys on
I
Valentine's Day?
I do. I usually send care packages, but this is a really sad time because I did not. I did not get a care package out. I didn't get them a king cake for Fat Tuesday, and I didn't get any Valentines out for Valentine's Day. Plus, you add on top of that, it's Ash Wednesday. So now my husband can't whip out that last minute steak and lobster dinner that he always used to do when it was his turn for Valentine's Day because it's
Ah,
no meat today. So I really just am sending them a bunch of memes, and I'm going to try to do better.
yeah. I actually had stuff also and didn't get it out this year. So I am right there with you. When they were little, I would bring them like chocolate or something. And no, this year I did do something for Brian's daughter. Actually, she's really really sweet to me, and she was here this morning. She's not going to be here tonight, so we're gonna have the house to ourselves. But I went and got her some flowers too with a card. So if my kids are listening, which I know they're not because I've already said that anything I do is lame, they won't know the difference. And you know what? So and if you're listening, child of mine, and you want your own flowers, then you can tell me and I will send them. But that's the test.
Well, I sent stuff out. I was, with my son in Texas. I always wanted him to know we were thinking about him, so I would send him things out. And here's a little hint: if you want me to continue sending things out, you got to give me something back. So
Yeah.
I would send things to him. I would get from the FedEx person, oh, this has been delivered, especially when I had to send a Mardi Gras king cake, which, I had to hunt down and find a bakery. And I would be like, did you get the cake? Or I was picturing like just ants all over it sitting on his front porch because he didn't look down and pick up the cake. So I usually had to follow up and text. And so I don't know that the reinforcement was there that I thought to myself, oh, I've got to kill myself to get this stuff out to my boys because they so appreciate me.
Yeah.
I think I'm feeling a little underappreciated. I almost feel like I would be so impressed if I opened up my mailbox today and had a Valentine from my adult boys. That would be so impressive. Or if my son from Orlando just suddenly drove in with flowers from mom, amazing. But I'm not holding my breath because I
You're
would
kidding.
die.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Valentine's Day, Hallmark holiday? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Like what do you wish it didn't exist?
No, I like it. I like it. It also makes me reflect on my mom. And I like that. And my dad. My dad is very much romantic. I mean, he is still keeping the Valentine's thing going at, 83, 84 years old. He even remembers to, text me and tell me happy Valentine's Day. So I don't know. I mean, every now and then, there's nothing wrong with pausing, giving yourself a free candy day, and, telling anybody in your life that you love them. Doesn't necessarily need to be somebody you're romantic with. It could be anybody, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I
and
like
Saint Valentine is a Catholic saint, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Saint Valentine. There's actually a whole podcast about him, but I don't know a whole lot about him. But I imagine it started with love, and then it turned into cards.
welcome to the U.S. culture. We will monetize whatever we can.
Yeah, and they won't be making any money from us for dinner tonight. Sounds like you guys are doing stay at home as well.
There's money to be made because we'll be buying the ingredients that we normally wouldn't buy, and having stepping up dinner. But I have to say, I spent a lot more time single than you did, and so being single on Valentine's Day, I wish that there had been more of the Galentine's Day stuff that there is now. I think that would have been much better if I would have planned some things with my single friends and, not felt so bad about the fact that I wasn't in a relationship. So I would say that, a decision, if you are quote unquote single, is decide to give that love to other people and to make the day special, that way. So I will say I like it now, especially now that, we have the black roses and we have the Galentines and we have, but, to your point, we should be sharing love every day. And that's so cliche to say, but it's really, really true.
Well, back in the day when I had the lingerie store, it made my whole year. So please support your local lingerie stores. And it does remind me to buy new underwear every year. Like I may go home tonight and buy some fancy underwear because I feel like Valentine's Day is the day to have matching bra and panties. So if you're just out there and you're out and about and you just want to feel good on Valentine's Day, go buy some matching bra and panties. And and remember, I charged my husband full price for his boxers when I own the store. So I may buy some matching bra and panties and some, heart boxers for my husband on my way home. I think I'm deciding to do that now. I'm going to be very spontaneous. I think he is a little worried right now because we kind of woke up this morning and we were angry at our dog and we just kind of grunted, kissed, and walked out the door. And he turned around and said, I know you have something planned. And, I'm just recording this now to tell you I have zero, nada planned, but I have this reputation. So I don't know what I'm going to do now.
I think a coupon book might be in order.
Where did you get that? Hallmark?
Yes, but you can make one too, Yeah,
I've made them before in the past. And you want to hear something funny? We would be fighting. Oh, no. He knew where the coupons were and we would be in the middle of a fight. And he was like, I want to redeem one blowjob right now.
Oh, I love it. He's such a good match for you. He's really great.
Well, you need to put a little note on there that says, you cannot redeem while fighting.
No, I think you should absolutely not put that note there. I think that is actually the perfect way to stop a fight.
I don't think he ever redeemed that coupon. I think I ripped it up. Okay. So I know we need to wrap it up. Any other Valentine's things that we need to talk about?
No, I think we've exhausted our Valentine's. I mean, I think you did a great job. It was fun.
Well,
it was fun to be back, Lynn.
Oh my gosh, so fun to talk to you. I know we need to talk more, even if you don't come on the podcast. I believe we have several decisions that we still have for the future.
I'm happy to come back as a guest. Just a lot of craziness going on in my life right now, and we can talk about that in another. I actually have some funny stuff to tell you, but I got to get off and go back to go back to working for I would say man, but I'm the boss. So.
All right. Well, you go back to your business real quick. Let me go ahead and plug the website, decisiondiaries.com. We're going to have We do have a photo gallery up there. We also have a little link where you can be a member of what, Jami, I'm calling our decision makers to help me come up with great decision ideas. And I'll go out there, find those guests, or maybe we'll just bring Jami back on to talk about those decisions since she's so much fun. So thank you for coming on again. Miss you. And thank you everyone for listening to us today on Valentine's Day. Have a great day.